Hi, my name is Jay Forte. I'm an author, a speaker, a business consultant, and a greatness coach. And what I'd like to do is explain a little bit about one of my books, Fire Up Your Employees and Smoke Your Competition. This was one of the books presented at the Big Breakfast series during 2010. Well, Fire Up Your Employees and Smoke Your Competition is a step-by-step process for managers of any experience level to learn how in today's intellectual workplace, how to attract, hire, and retain A-level talent. That kind of talent that is committed to doing extraordinary things for customers, that drives their loyalty and ultimately drives the best results. Now, the book Fire Up Your Employees and Smoke Your Competition revolves around the concept of connection, and to drive the greatest performance and to engage employees for their greatest contribution comes in three different types of connection. Intellectual connection, they're good at what the job requires, and that's the process of assessing for fit and learning how to hire based on talent. We'll talk about that. Emotionally connecting them, and that's connecting them at a deeper sense by customizing their job and helping them feel like owners in what they do. And then the third level of connection is personal connection. Do they feel connected to the workplace and to management and their team? Is this a place that they think of as home? So let me explain very quickly each of those three levels of connection that I present in the book Fire Up Your Employees and Smoke Your Competition, and that was the nature of what we spoke about during 2010 at the Big Breakfast series. Intellectually connected is the process of helping or working with companies to define the performance attributes, the unique abilities that would make someone successful in a particular job. And it's not so much what they've done before, it's how do they think. Are they in a situation where they will choose the right things during the expectations of the job? Because no job is standard anymore. In a service workplace, every situation is different and unique, and the best employees are those who think in the way to choose the wise reactions and responses rather than just follow a set of procedures. So what we talked about in the section on intellectual connection was how do we define the unique abilities, the talents and the strengths that would make somebody great in that job? How do you source people who have that? And there, in that, we introduced the concepts of a talent-based resume, very different than a skill and experience-based resume, and a talent-based interview, also very different than interviewing from before, where we're looking to assess how they really think by giving them unique situations that they would encounter in their workplace and see how they would respond. That's how we check in to find out if their thinking matches the thinking the job requires. The purpose of intellectual connection is to hire the right employee. Are they connected to the behaviors that would make them successful in the job? Our second level of connection we spoke about was emotional connection, that sense of what creates loyalty. Are they emotionally connected and invested in what they do? And that has to do with an employee's passion level. Whereas intellectual connection talks about connecting them based on their talents, their brain hardwiring. Well, emotional connection deals with connecting employees at an emotional level. And the way that we do that is through two very quick things that we spoke about. We call it job sculpting, the ability to customize each job. In today's world, nobody wants just the standard generic job. They all want pieces of their responsibilities that tie in exactly to who they are and what gets them excited. It's an easy process to customize and sculpt a little bit each of the jobs in order to activate the greater emotional connection. The other thing we talk about in emotional connection is what's called performance expectations, where management defines the end result but allows the quality, talented, well-chosen employee to start to create the process on how to achieve it. That creates a sense of ownership. And ownership and loving what you do are two strong ways of creating a really powerful emotional connection. The third level of connection that we spoke about is the personal connection. And that's the rapport that has to happen between two people. There's a great line that says, people quit people before they quit companies. So we as managers need to know the process of having and delivering or providing accurate, timely, good performance feedback. So we talk a lot about the components of effective feedback. How do you catch people doing great things and reward and applaud them? And how do you catch them when the performance is not where it needs to be? But because we've taken all this time to select the right employee and we've got them emotionally connected, if they're not doing something right, now is not the time to blast them out of the water. Now is the time to be a supportive coach that helps them learn something they obviously are missing. So performance feedback sets up the ability to have a regular recurring conversation without any conflict. So you can talk about anything on a daily basis. And that sets us up for the other part of personal connection, what we call a career conversation. A long-term discussion that says, here's where you're going in the future. So if I knew that on a daily basis I could talk to my manager about anything, I would be more open to talking to my manager about my future. One of the reasons why people leave is that managers never have a discussion with them on why they should stay. And the critical part of having that long-term discussion about where you're headed in the future is that on a daily basis you can talk about the important things. That sets up the rapport and the personal connection so you can talk about the big things. So, 3 levels of connection. Intellectual connected, are you the right person for the right job? Emotionally connected, do you love what you do? Personally connected, is this team and this workplace and this manager, does this feel like home, and do these feel like critical relationships that support me? 3 levels of connection. This is the way to attract, hire, and retain today's very best employees. And when we do these things as managers, we create a workplace that is all about the employees, where they feel fired up and they feel passionate, and that's what it takes to fire up your employees and smoke your competition. Thank you. Check out the book, Fire Up Your Employees and Smoke Your Competition, and definitely join in the Big Breakfast series once a month, the last Friday of every month. Thanks. This is Jay Forte.